The Dogs, in association with the British Greyhound Racing Board.
Hello and welcome to another edition of The Dogs. We're at Wimbledon Stadium for the last classic of the year. That's the William Hill Oaks over 480 metres. And 1 yard in trap 6 will go off a warm favourite.
So there'll be huge delight, of course, for connections of the Oaks champion. But we know all about the ups and downs of greyhound racing, and the downside is injuries. We take a look at how the most common ailments are treated.
Well, there's plenty of action on today's show with a review of the Betfred ECLIPSE meeting at Nottingham. I visit the studios of the top greyhound artist, David French. And there's a chance to see the final of the Gem Racing Super PAWS from POOLE.
It was classic time last Tuesday as Wimbledon staged the William Hill Oaks final card. A big crowd turned out to fill the restaurants, bars and executive boxes at Plough Lane and catch some cracking action.
Punch and Magpie looking impressive here. Don't worry about how long it's been off the track. It's been doing some good trials and it's way out cleared. They come around the final bend and on the inside Selby Bend now takes over. It's Selby Bend clean. The spiral's trying to come again. It's going to be tight. It's got to a photo finish. This for Cape Court John. Noir Shawnee on the outside. Big Freeze trying to find the gap. It's Cape Court John back in front just. Wilcox Stream now goes on around the final bend from Cut Hill. Wilcox Stream, Cut Hill's cutting it down now up towards winner like Cut Hill and Wilcox Stream in a thrilling finish.
One of the stars of the show was Fireheight Dan, who showed great early speed from the red jacket and did his Greyhound of the Year claims no harm whatsoever. But it was Shelbourne Star who got top marks once again with a brilliant win over Solid Money and Ronnie's Flight in the 6 bend race.
Away they go, and off to quite a level start here. It's one out in front. Ronnie's Flight is going to lead him into the first bend. Here comes 4 Troopies Pume. In between them is 3. That's Solid Money. So as they go round the bend, in behind those comes Top Bombing towards the rear. At the moment, we've got Shelbourne Star right against the inside rail. So Ronnie's Flight has got first run over Solid Money. Not quite sure where Solid Money's going to pass. Can't get past there. So they head down the far side. Ronnie's Flight leading here by 2 lengths over Solid Money. After these a further length back to 6 Weeks and Warrior. Trying to come there, Shelbourne Star on the outside of their 4 Troopies Puma. They reach the second last bend and it's Ronnie's Flight still out in front. They're queuing up in behind. Shelbourne Star, the big danger, looking for the gaps. Here she comes. It's Shelbourne Star romping up the home straight. She wins from Solid Money in second place and Ronnie's Flight was third.
The 2003 St Ledger champion in full flow and weaving away through the field. There are a few better sights in the game. And we should also thank our lucky stars that Andy Johnson's 1 yard was able to line up in her second Oaks final after injury looked to have ended her career last year.
We can't believe that she's running at all. After she broke this bone in her hock, we thought she was finished. But miraculously she's had this operation and there's a plate, I would imagine, about 2.5, 3 inches long and 8 pins holding it all together, so you know, it's quite miraculous really. Several months later she's back racing at a high level, so we're very, very pleased.
Despite a brilliant semi-final win, 1 yard was an uneasy favourite in trap 6, with Derek Knight's Tidy Playroom well drawn in trap 1, shorter than her morning price.
The hair on the move then for the WilliamHill.co.uk Oaks final. We're away and racing up towards the first bend, and 1 Tidy Playroom is out fast here from 3. Fernglade Abbey, 1 yard trying to move up on the outside around the turn, and 1 yard had a real rough ride. It's Tidy Playroom in front by 3 lengths here from 3. Fernglade Abbey. After these on the outside comes 4 Sheba's Magic trying to pick up a bit of ground, and then comes 6 1 yard. They go round the second last bend, but Tidy Playroom took full advantage of a good draw. 1 yard's come out of the pack, chasing hard up the home straight. Tidy Playroom finds extra to go on and win by 2 lengths from 1 yard. Back in second place.
So an impressive Oaks win for Tidy Playroom over a perhaps unlucky 1 yard, with Sheba's Magic staying on in third in a time of 29.27. It was a magical evening for Winning Connections as another great night, a classic night at Wimbledon, drew to a close. This is Rosewood Kennels near Slough in Berkshire, home of Walthamstow trainer Gary Baggs, his backroom staff and their 50-plus racing dogs. It's a hard-working setup that sends out plenty of winners, both graded at the Stowe and on the open race circuit.
We've sort of built up our facilities here over the years. We've got a sort of an all-weather gallop which we use for the dogs. We've also got a good physiotherapy room, which my daughter Stacey takes great care in running that. She does a lot of the physio work on the dogs, where we've got like a jacuzzi unit, we've got laser, we've got ultrasound and magnetic field treatment, which is, I think is a very important part of training today. Sort of pre and after race treatment is a very important part of the job today.
Information on each dog's injury is logged, which helps with treatment. In this case, the patient is Shotgun Kate.
She's had a little tear in here. If I press it hard enough, see, there's pain. You see, she ran yesterday, and immediately we have to start treatment on her again so that she's sound, so she can run again the next week.
After 3 or 4 days of treatment here, Stacey, would she feel that pain that we felt at the start?
Not at all. She wouldn't feel any pain whatsoever. The healing process, it speeds it up quite dramatically. So.
The ultrasound treatment is used for deep muscle injuries, with massage and stretching in Stacey's capable and healing hands, all helping to get the greyhounds, natural athletes of course, back on track. Other healing powers are provided by laser treatment, which is used for various ailments.
We've got 2 lasers. We've got this one, which is the cluster, where all these like to treat a bigger muscle injury. And then we've got this little pencil probe. It works on like cuts in the pad, sore quicks, any little nips they give each other, anything like that.
So the laser and ultrasound machines are a valuable modern day aid. But Stacey also employs time-honoured and traditional hands-on techniques, and her next patient is True Flashing, who was found to have trapped a nerve in his back, which explained a few below-par performances. A good class marathon dog, Stacey employs massage and then stretching.
So by this, his back is completely straight, it's completely relaxed, and it's stretching his spine right out.
Definitely enjoyed being centre of attention, but the day's treatment does not end there, as next stop it's a hydrotherapy centre just a few miles down the road, which is associated with the Baggs kennel and used by the Walthamstow trainer for a lot of his runners. There's a short stint in the jacuzzi with hydrotherapist Susan, and it doesn't take too long for each treatment to be completed, albeit providing great benefit for the dogs.
People come to the conception that if they have a bout, they can swim for 10 minutes, but that's not quite true. You get a dog in and he's working about 3 or 4 minutes, he's done a long way of running. You know, approximately, you can see approximately about a minute to a mile. So after about 3 minutes, you know they've had enough, really.
Now, greyhounds not known necessarily for their stamina either, are they?
No, they're not. They're definitely not. No. They sort of peak out after about 3 minutes in the pool. They sort of start peaking out. I think the maximum we've had one really is about 4 minutes really working.
It's clearly hard work, as you can see here, but no doubt therapeutic and helps with fitness. But where did Dave get the idea for the hydrotherapy centre from?
Well, basically, it's obviously been used for horses and set for for many years now, and obviously people in hospitals use it. I know a nurse very well, and they say they put patients into the sort of same situation we've got with hydrotherapy and jet streams, and it sort of benefits them, and it really progressed from there, really.
A wash and a scrub down for true flashing follows, all part of the modern approach to looking after greyhounds.
I'm very old-fashioned myself in lots of things. You know, I've stuck with my routines, which I've stuck with the last 35 years, and I think you have to keep up with modern technology, where in the old days when I first started in racing, we used to just have 8 races a night and maybe 2 meetings a week, but now we're having 5 or 6 meetings a week, and it's just a matter of turning the dogs round, really, and you know, sort of pre and after race treatment is so important, but it's nice to see the dog run nice and sound, and he's got a nice fluent action, and you know that the dog's A-OK.
One of Gary's major successes of recent years has been his prolific scoring four-bender Hallam Smudger, who broke a hock in the summer. After his operation, every effort has been made to return Hallam Smudger to the track and perhaps back to the sort of form which saw him reach this year's ARC final.
The whole process has taken about 5.5 months in all, but hopefully given that bit of extra time will be a true benefit to the dog, and I can't really say how much he's blunted his speed as yet, but he seems to move very well at home here, and it'll be such a feather in everybody's cap if he comes back and wins races of some of the calibre that he ran in before.
Coming up after the break, Errol Blythe pays a visit to the studios of greyhound artist David French.
Well, welcome back to part 2 of the dogs, and we begin with a review of the Betfred Eclipse meeting at Nottingham. We start with the pups, and a youngster on everyone's lips at the moment is Blonde Boss. He was sent off at a very prohibitive 1-4 for this puppy race. And they're off and running and racing up towards the first bend. A good start here from trap 3, Blonde Boss. Already 2 or 3 lengths clear as they go around the first bend. Quite a lot of trouble around the turn there. Trap 6 didn't get a clear run around the turn. That was Droopy's Dusty. But heading down the far side, and Blonde Boss with a 5-length lead at the moment over 4, Droopy's Desai. That's come out of the pack into a clear second. The others scrimmaging for third at the moment as they come around the final bend. It's all about Blonde Boss. Very impressive here. Blonde Boss makes all after that good start to win impressively for Charlie Lister. Back in second was Droopy's Desai. Well, another good run from Blonde Boss, going on to record 29.36 on a slightly slow track at Nottingham. Keep your eyes on the runner-up. Ran a big race, Droopy's Desai. Onto the Stadium Bookmakers 480 final, and the favourite here was Paint Spot, one of the produce stakes at Hall Green, sent off at 6-4. And they're running and racing up towards the first bend, and a quick start here from Valencia Lover in 3. That's going to lead him round. Paint Spot moves up into second place. Very slowly away was Farlow Marathon in 4, trying to make up some lost ground now on the inside. As they go down the far side at Nottingham, it's Valencia Lover. She's out in front here by 3 lengths from Paint Spot racing in second. They're getting each other's way a little bit round that third bend. Farlow Marathon's trying to creep closer all the time as they come around that final turn. In front, it's Valencia Lover, all out now from Paint Spot, closing all the time. Only half a length between them, but Valencia Lover wins. Valencia Lover there winning at 3-1 for trainer Trevor Evans and beating Paint Spot by half a length. On to the Betfred Eclipse 295 invitation. Laurel's winner, NINGBO Jack for Charlie Lister, was sent off the even money favourite, back to sprinting here, running from trap 3. Second favourite was in trap 5, Camogue Rock. And they're off and racing up towards the first bend. Great start from NINGBO Jack in trap 3. It's going to lead up early around the first bend. As they go around that turn, there's a little bit of problems, and Camogue Rock's been knocked over there. Disney Dog moved off in 4. So come around the final bend, there's only one winner. A handsome success again in a sprint race for NINGBO Jack, winning easily in the end from Quick Boz in second and Disney Dog in third. Well, he's picking up these sprint races very easily at the moment, is NINGBO Jack, and looking a promising greyhound for 2005. On to the big race itself, the Betfred Eclipse final, over 500 metres. The favourite was Ted Soppett's Droopy Shearer, back to 4 bends after a campaign in the St Leger, sent off 6-4 favourite in trap 6. And they're off and racing up towards the first bend. A good start here from 3. Smooth Honcho out in front early. BALLYBRAZIL Hero rushing up. Then comes Droopy Shearer. Took a bump there. Oh, took another one at the second bend from the slow starting By the Rumour as they head down the far side then. And Brian Clementson, Smooth Honcho with a 2-length lead of a BALLYBRAZIL Hero that's closing, entering the third bend. Some 3 lengths back to 1. That's Burn Park Honcho. Then comes driving up Rob as they come around the final bend. And now Smooth Honcho sees its kennel companion BALLYBRAZIL Hero on the outside. And that's staying on the best. BALLYBRAZIL Hero wins here from Smooth Honcho in second. Driving up Rob was third. Well, a 1-2 for Brian Clementson and a second big race success for BALLYBRAZIL Hero, winning in 30.53. Well, here's a question for you. What's the connection between the world champ Ballyregan Bob, Scottish Derby winner Phantom Flash, and the People's Champion 94 Derby winner Moral Standards? They've all had a brush with David French. Artist David French has painted all of them during his illustrious career. I popped along to his studio and asked David, how did you become involved in painting greyhounds?
An owner of a racehorse that I was painting asked me to paint his greyhound. And fortunately, it was down at Jeff de Mulder's, who was the champion trainer that year. And once I'd finished painting this little greyhound for him, Jeff asked me to go back the following week, and he'd got about 7 or 8 dogs lined up for me to paint, and it all started from there. But it was just sheer accident.
And you've painted some of the greats in the sport, haven't you?
I think I've painted most of them since the late 1970s. 19 Derby winners, Greyhounds of the Year, top stud dogs, top open race dogs. So I've done a few.
Not only do owners clamour to have their stars painted by David, but many tracks have his prints on their walls. New track Coventry intend to go further.
When Coventry first started rebuilding their stadium, I suggested that instead of having just prints around the wall of greyhounds, that they had large paintings, almost like a mural size. They were very taken with the idea, and I suggested that I did 5 8-foot by 4-foot paintings depicting the narrative of a race from the start to a hurdle, to a bend, to a back straight, to a finish, so that you've got a continuation from start to finish of a greyhound race. This is the little study that I made for the first one of the starting traps, and you can see the full-size canvas, 8 foot by 4. The first stage has been laid out just to make sure that the position is right, and it's been done in very thin paint so that I have got a definition but not too definite. I can still play about with it if I want to.
It's never been done before, such an ambitious project for David French, who intends to have this work completed by the summer. David told us that due to the size of the paintings, they will have to leave his first-floor studio through the window and be transported carefully to Coventry Stadium. A mammoth task with so many potential problems. And come August, when you've finished this project for Coventry Stadium, what's for the future? What's next?
Well, this is going to be my swan song. I've been painting greyhounds for nigh on 30 years. And as an artist, I've got other subjects that I've got in my head that I want to paint. I want to go back home to Norfolk and do some skyscapes and landscapes. But that doesn't mean to say that I won't do greyhounds anymore. Derby winners, Greyhounds of the Year, etc., yes. But I will be very, very selective as to which greyhounds I will in fact be painting, if I'm asked to do them.
Our first ever visit to Poole for the Gem Racing Super PAWS final. John Mullins had the favourite in trap 2, Manera Spark sent off 11-8. All Gold and Velvet Pier next best at 7-2. Here comes the hare. And they're off and racing out towards the first bend. A good start here from 3, All Gold out very fast. Velvet Piers rushing up on the outside of Stardust Joy. Trouble for Manera Spark, a slow start and took a bump at the first bend as well. Heading down the far side at the moment. All Gold leads here from Satin Jur just in second place ahead of Velvet Pier on the outside. They run round the last 2 bends and All Gold by a couple of lengths. Manera Spark making a move. Oh, terrible trouble for Satin Jur there. All Gold's been left well clear. All Gold's the winner. Manera Spark gets up to be second and Velvet Pier across the line in third. Well, congratulations to Paul Young and Connections of All Gold winning the Gem Racing Super PAWS final, but commiserations to the owners of Sattinger who couldn't be saved after a terrible injury at that final bend. Some form clues for Friday's supporting opens on Essex Vars night. We start off with the Coral Sprint, and the two to watch out for here, Linda Jones's Ronnie's Boss in trap 6 and One Punch Done in 2. Well, Ronnie's Boss, who's won so many open races here at Romford over this distance, got a fair start, perhaps trap 4 in the way there slightly around the first bend, go handy, but let's take nothing away from One Punch Done. Moved round those two tight turns really easily, did Liz McNair's charge, and won with a little bit to spare over Ronnie's Boss. 13.65, not the quickest of the two heats, but certainly a greyhound to follow on Friday. The other competition we spotlight is the Coral Maiden Stayers race over 575 metres. The one to watch out for here is COOMLOGANE Royal, up in trip, of course, for Frank Taylor after some sterling displays so far this year on the open race circuit. Running from trap 4, got a blinding start, did COOMLOGANE Royal. Showed good early toe, as you'd expect from a top performer over 4 bends, and built on that lead all the time. However, the greyhound in chase is one to keep an eye on. That's Brown Eyed Girl. In the end, she just goes down ahead in defeat here behind COOMLOGANE Royal, and you can see that she had to work hard to get so close. They go round the second last bend, and this is where the gas is beginning to run out for COOMLOGANE Royal. Frank Taylor's charge there, the stride began to shorten going around the second last bend. Brown Eyed Girl coming all the time, saving ground on the inside, but the line just comes up in time for COOMLOGANE Royal, winning in 35.65, which was the fastest of the 3 heats there that took place. Brown Eyed Girl, a big race though in second place. A big night at Romford on Friday. The feature events on Thursday include the Ballybrazil Bob Memorial Trophy over 695 metres at Hove, whilst at Bellevue they're staging the Dransfield Stayers Final over 647 metres. There are also opens at Milton Keynes, Stainforth and Wimbledon. Romford on Friday is certainly the place to be, with the final of the Essex Vars and a plethora of other quality finals. Oxford and Henlow also stage opens on Friday night. The richest race on Saturday is the Store-to-Door Marathon Final over 840 metres at Walthamstow. The Stowe has a bumper open race supporting card. Brough Park and Henlow also have opens booked for Saturday. Reading hold a special Sunday meeting with the Reading Hunt Cup as the feature. Sydneybourne stage the heats of the Kaluki Club Puppy Stakes, and there's also opens at Coventry and Rye House. For more information, why not click onto www.thedogs.co.uk for all the latest results. Well, next week we're at Sunderland for the William Hill Northern Puppy Derby Final over 450 metres. Join us live on Sky Sports.
The Dogs, in association with the British Greyhound Racing Board.